Give me 1 second to set this up here.
Okay. You're defying gravity.
Oh, is it? Here, I know what it is. How is that?
Looks good.
Awesome, awesome.
Good to see your cats there.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
You got a bird in there too, right? No?
He just squeaks and it's very high.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I've enjoyed him in your videos.
Yeah, yeah. He's really active. Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you making videos again.
I know. Well, I was thinking back to, when I was first making videos, I think
Yeah.
that was at the same time that you were starting to make videos as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It
Funny the way life goes.
is, it is.
So you're still smiling?
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming you saw the video with Emerson.
Yeah, that's when I realized you were back.
Yeah.
So you were missed.
Yeah, yeah.
You disappeared without a trace.
I know. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well,
And it feels so strange the way that it's just erased instantly, whatever happens, even something that would seem so heavy or so frustrating or so sad or something,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
erased in a way.
There's no one to feel sad.
Right.
It's just what happened.
Right. It's wild. It's wild.
It's that way always.
Right.
So can you hear the airplane? Okay, good. There's a few around.
Sure. Well, I can ask you, I know you were watching Emerson's video, Emerson's like lives and stuff. How did you come to find that? What was the story there with that?
You mean the story, Steve's story?
Yeah. I don't
So
know if you've already shared it on your channel, but
yeah, it's been talked about. Yeah. Did you ever hear any of it?
I probably did
Okay.
10 months ago
Okay.
when I was, whatever, but I haven't recently, so it's been a minute.
Okay, I'll see if I can do a quickie.
Yeah.
So there was a time when Steve was taking his wife to the chiropractor, and she would go to the chiropractor and he'd stay in the car and listen to the Beatles channel. And a few years ago, he started to disappear when he did that, without, of course, without any explanation, aside from possibly Alzheimer's or something. So he just started looking around for an explanation. Steve did, and he he had some background in spirituality and in counseling, actually more in a kind of a spiritual form of counseling. And he ended up looking at some other spiritual teachers, blah, blah, blah. And he'd actually seen Tony Parsons in videos in the past and really didn't catch on at that point. And so he found himself looking into non-duality in different forms. And then he listened to Tony Parsons and the people that were speaking the message he started, and that clicked. And then for a while, he kept disappearing all during this research period, and reached the point where he felt he needed to talk to somebody. And so he signed up to Emerson's retreat in last March, and at 5:30 in the morning or something, he asked, what's going on with this disappearing? And then Emerson, he didn't talk about disappearing. He just started talking about emptiness. Emptiness. And then he started talking about fullness, and the fullness of emptiness and the emptiness of fullness. And from that point, Steve was hooked. And so he finished that retreat, and then he went for a month or so without any meetings, and then he did a second retreat, a longer one, a 4-day. And so that seemed to somehow do the trick. And so Steve was gone after that retreat. And it appears in Steve's case, in Steve's story, that Steve just got worn out. He just got burned out, and didn't come back.
Right. Well, it's such a tiring apparent energy of trying so hard, and there's so much effort of it.
Yeah, toward the end, Steve was trying to disappear.
Right.
And then at some point, there was a kind of there was an apparent decreasing in the size of Steve, the Steveness. And then there was a point where there was kind of a hole left where Steve used to be. It was like a noticeable hole with it could have had a draft blowing through it or something. It was noticeable. Anyway, that's all gone. All that's gone. And so so this still responds to the name Steve, but there's no Steve. And that's great. That's nothing's missing without Steve. Steve didn't take anything with him except Steve's problems.
Right.
So how did it go for Kenny?
I guess similar. I don't know, but I used to have more of a understanding of the story, or the story used to make more sense.
Yeah.
And it feels now just a lot more, well, things are just spontaneous, but there was seeking in a lot of different spiritual teachers. And I guess through being having that on my YouTube, Non-Duality just ended up getting recommended Yeah, and there was something that really drew me in about it. It was like, I remember it being disturbing, like there was something unsettling about it, and also like very attractive. Like I can't explain it, but um yeah, there was that.
That's how Kenny felt.
I guess there's talking to Emerson. I think that's really what, well, so I would do some of the retreats,
Uh-huh.
and this is a story, but I think like I was such a shy character. I never wanted to participate.
Oh,
So it ended up being like I would do a lot of one-on-ones with Emerson, because then I could actually whatever. I don't know,
okay.
not that anything even happens, but um yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It yeah. That's all I can say.
So at some point, Kenny wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah. It's very strange to talk about because there's no like steps to it really,
Right.
but it seems like there was steps to it. It's very strange. It's very strange.
Well, so this hasn't really heard that many stories. It knows its story.
Mm-hmm.
It's heard Kenny's story. It appears that there is no rhyme or reason, of course.
Right.
It just happens as it happens. There may be, from this standpoint, there may be differences in the way of happening, depending on a person's age or
Mm,
their particular experiences.
mm-hmm.
I know it's been said that sometimes it takes a long time to once the person, the non-existent person is gone, then it can take a while to for things to settle in as unsettled life. Um, some I've heard some speakers say that it took them a long time to even start speaking. In this case, there was an interest right at the very beginning, somehow.
Right.
And it seems to be the case with
Yeah.
just an interest in speaking, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
speaking seemed to be kind of also have a familiarizing effect for no one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was sort of like life started becoming familiar with itself in that way, even though it's always been itself.
Right.
However that might be.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and you've been making videos for the whole past, what, 10 months, like almost a year or so?
Yeah, it kind of up and down as far as the frequency goes, but
Sure.
there's still an interest there.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
interest is changing now to is kind of seems to be broadening more. So there's an interest in talking. There's been some one-on-ones and some meetings and stuff like that, and that's felt interesting. So
Nice.
that may continue too.
Cool.
So this is part of that kind of what? That kind of movement, whatever it might be called.
Yeah.
So it's all wonderful. It's
so strange. Just you know, when I was making videos 10 months ago or whatever it was, I noticed that familiarizing or like it's almost so shocking in the beginning, or it was for me. It was such a, I don't know, it's new. It's very hard to say in words, but and then there was apparently this whole dream or whatever, where I wasn't posting. I was I guess seeking, like, whatever. And now again, it's that I'm speaking. There's something familiar about it. There's something like it's always been this. And there's also still this shock again of, wow, this is strange. This is hard to talk about. I mean, that's why I like having these chats like this, though, because it does seem to make it feel more normal, like more settled. The first week or so, like recently, just the last few weeks, it's just been crazy. And at the same time, though, it is just I just love talking about it. It's really fun.
Yeah, that comes through. It's seen in your face, or it's seen in the face. Yeah. There was this has an interest in science and astronomy and all that. And there was a dinner with friends last night, and there was some talk about who's doing the exploring, somebody complained that Elon Musk was wasting a lot of money that could have been spent helping people or something.
Sure.
And then somebody else said, well, but look at what he's done. He's opening up this exploration. When it really comes down to it, it's all life doing whatever is done. So space exploration, if it continues, will be done. It will be life exploring itself, or the universe exploring itself, in a sense.
How crazy. Yeah.
Well, especially if some of the scientists become non-dual scientists, then it will really be the universe exploring itself at the individual body, human body level.
It's really interesting thinking about science. Well, in the story, it really seems to like be going somewhere. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a direction to it. We need to explore this. We need to know this. And I guess science just is that, but it's funny now. I just feel like there's just curiosity, there's just wondering, and it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't get you anywhere, but there's just curiosity, there's just exploring.
Yes, it seems to be just there, part of everything. And science wants to make it foolproof and reality, and is not capable of seeing that that is never going to happen. But it keeps operating the way it operates. Perhaps if some scientists end up as non-dual scientists, then the impossibility of explanation may be seen differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange thing to think about. Like, I don't know. This seems to me like there's no way to explain this. There's no way to comprehend what's happening, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's only seen. Once it's seen by itself, then it's seen. Then there's no need for explanation. There's no
Right.
need.
Right.
There's no need for description. There's no need for words.
Very true.
It's as people have said, it's in the seeing, but it has to actually be seen to be seen. And that seeing, somehow that seeing includes a kind of, there's no knower, but it includes a kind of knowing, or a sense of, the seeing is like a sense of knowing. There's no time, but the seeing has a sense of the past and the future. The seeing itself, or life itself, it includes all there is. It's the infinite. So it must include the past and the future as part of everything, even though our concept, or the human concept of time doesn't exist. It just depends on what solar system you live in.
Yeah. It's so direct. It's so direct. That's what came to mind. Like, direct seeing, direct time. I don't know. I don't know. It's very relaxed to be not on this journey in time. Not that there ever was that journey, but time used to be a real pressure,
Yeah.
a real stressor, a real, like, yeah, it just felt so real.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
incredible.
somehow it doesn't matter.
Right.
There's no one for it to matter to anymore. There's still stuff that happens in terms of time, like bills getting paid and stuff like that.
Right.
Uh, uh, pressing the right button for a Zoom meeting at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and yet it's lost its continuity. It's almost like just stuff is happening as it's happening until the next thing happens. And then that's
Right. Yeah. So fresh. And whatever apparently just happened is just erased. There's nothing for it to stick to. There's nothing holding on to the flow of time. It's just direct.
yeah. There's no longer the timer.
Right.
And what that does is it makes everything new. Every time it's seen,
Right.
it's new.
Yeah.
So even
How like I'm amazed that I'm continually amazed. How does
yeah,
it just not stop? How did like that's wild.
yeah. So looking out the window here, there's a lemon tree out there that's always there. It's always recognizable. It's always the same lemon tree. It's not getting replanted every day. It's always growing, so it's changing slightly its dimensions. That's the case with all the plants, like there's a bunch of palm trees out here, and they're always the same number of palm trees. They're always like kind of the same size in relation to each other. And yet every time they're seen, they're new. But they've always been there, so that they're recognizable. So in a sense, they're old, and they grow. So you can see the changes in their growth. The leaves, whatever. You can
Yeah.
see the changes, so that they're different a little bit each time they're seen, but they're always the same.
Yeah. It's spring here.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, everything is blooming now. And it's just amazing. It is so fun to witness all the changes of the seasons, just day by day. There's a little something new, a new type of flower blooming, or a new type of thing falling. Like it's always new. There's always something changing.
Yes. That seems to be the nature of things.
Yeah.
Even if they're not living,
Right.
even if they're houses in the neighborhood, that they don't move, and yet they also seem new when they're seen. And then the changes, or like oh, this needs to be painted, or some minor changes happen there. they're different every time they're seen, but they're the same.
And even same with people,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
there's something the same and there's something that's different every time you meet someone. There's a million decisions being made in a day, and they all whatever accumulate, and people can really change over time. I don't know. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
and the thing is, it's all the same thing that's thinging everything. So if you want to call it life, it's the same life that's living all these people.
Mm,
How can that be? How can life divide itself up? It's not even dividing itself. It's just peopling 8 billion people in however, in whatever way that they differ from each other. And there can be big differences.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, totally. I I've been really enjoying just, well, everyone's different. Every character, there's something beautiful. There's something totally unique, totally just life. And without the story or whatever that judges and compares and says this person should be a little more like this, or people are just perfect even when they're horrible, or even when they're weird, or anything. Every person just is amazing.
Yeah, that's where the non-existent separation seems to not exist. There's, it's been said that there is no separation anyway, and yet people will feel separate. So the separation that doesn't exist is feeling separate, and it doesn't exist anyway.
Right. How crazy.
Yeah. It's a separation that doesn't exist, that never existed, and that clings to its non-existence dearly.
Right.
Its non-existence is clinging to its non-existence. Very effectively somehow.
Yeah. And it somehow can feel so convincing.
To its non-existence.
Right.
That's just part of all there is.
What's happening? Yeah. And it's so sweet that it just is how it is. It doesn't have to be different. You don't have to wake up, you don't have to blah blah blah. Like it just is that way, and it's perfect as it is. I yeah, it's just that way.
There's no holes in it. There's no
No flaws.
nothing missing.
Right.
No nothing has to be repaired or filled in or counseled. No counseling needed.
Right.
No help is needed,
Right.
really.
It's really funny because my job, like at a daycare,
Yeah,
I'm supposed to kind of be teaching them things and helping them grow, or like, certain teachers will say, oh, this is kind of a problem kid,
yeah.
you need to help him, whatever. And it's quite funny now that, well, there's just nothing wrong. There's just nothing wrong, really. People just are the way they are, and I don't know, helping or whatever can still appear too, but it's just so obvious that really nothing is wrong, nothing's missing.
How old are these kids?
Like 4 through like 8ish is what I mostly work with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's talked about the age when duality begins, the age when the non-existent
Right.
separation begins.
Sure.
Something has been said about 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Does it feel like the kids, the younger kids are
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. Well, I have worked with some 3-year-olds as well. I don't know what to say about it though. Kids in general are just tend to be more free, more, I don't know, like the self-concept isn't so heavy.
yes.
It's just the very beginnings of that self-concept, and I should be this way, but it's I would say more subtle, a lot more subtle than like adults or whatever.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Well,
And yeah,
go ahead.
they're so authentic. It's so direct. Whatever emotion comes up, it's full on expression of it, full on crying, full on anger. There's not that trying to be a certain way. Too much anyways.
Well, Kenny, you might have a non-dual influence on these kids somehow.
I wondered what the effect would be.
Well,
And yeah,
you
it's hard to
might
say.
see. You might
Yeah.
see. So this hasn't heard of any non-dual parents talking
Yeah,
to their children. There are
that's
some out
true.
there.
Sure.
There are some out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, this is something else that came up out of the science realm. This is a homeopath. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's an alternative form of medicine, but
A little bit. Yep.
there's, you know, the periodic table of the elements
Mm-hmm.
in chemistry. So it starts with hydrogen on one corner and ends with radioactive elements, heavier radioactive elements. Well, homeopathy looks at that chart of the elements in terms of the development of a human being.
Mm.
So with hydrogen, there's a sense of deciding whether to exist or not somehow. And then down in the heavier radioactive unstable elements, it's sort of like the getting toward the end of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so now that's in a sense charting the development of a human being in terms of the elements. But there are for all animals, there is a kind of development, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the birth of the body to youth, and then adolescence, and then adult, like with your cat,
Right.
went through a period of development.
Right.
So that just seems to be the way of life, that different kinds of the different changes happen as an organism grows or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this needs to look at that. This is looking at that periodic table differently now, as in terms of non-duality.
Mm-hmm.
It's only one source of homeopathic remedies. Like, remedies are available from plants and animals and minerals, and they can be made from anything.
Sure.
So we commonly work with 5,000 or more remedies.
Wow.
A huge amount of remedies. And if somebody needs one that doesn't exist, it can pretty easily be made.
Mm.
So that was something that came up out of the blue, just in terms of the work of being a homeopath.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that how long have you been doing that? Do you still work too?
I still do it. It's been going on for about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I did an unusual form of counseling where it was focused on living from intuition, rather than living from intuition rather than thought.
Sure.
So there were ways where a person could separate from their thoughts and kind of stand back and look at their thoughts and actually talk to the thoughts.
Mm.
We'd call the thoughts brain. Well, brain, look what you're talking about now. You think you're me, and you think you get a paycheck, but I'm the one who goes to work. I'm the one that gets paid. But even in that counseling, there was a sense of self.
Right.
Even though it was a diminished.
Sure. Right.
sense, but in just like awareness or consciousness or or meditation are still activities of the self.
Right, definitely.
There was still a self there
Right, right.
until there
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah. So I don't do the counseling anymore.
Sure. Right, right.
The non-duality's kind of stepped in there, but
Yeah.
because that non-existent self that's never been there and that is not there even when you're having a mental breakdown,
Right.
if it's not there, all of its problems aren't there.
Right.
So there was some talk with a one-on-one with a lady who had a drinking problem,
Mm.
and she was concerned about her drinking problem. And what is not seen until it's seen is that it's that non-existent separation that has the drinking problem. And if it's no longer there, it may be that life will choose not to drink.
Right. Yeah. How fascinating. Like, it's so convincing that I'm the controller. I can control if I stop drinking or stop doing this or start meditation.
Yeah.
It's so funny though, in retrospect. Well, it never works. It never works. People try to quit things or start things. There's no one doing it.
Yeah.
It's just life on its own. You can't force it. You can't.
Yeah. Until it's all seen by
Right.
the seeing.
Right. And it does seem like there's kind of a correction, or like when it's this obvious, I think maybe those coping things, well, the weight of all the problems is gone. So then the coping with that weight is also gone. It's everything seems to be quite light. I don't know.
It just may be that life would choose differently if it's the one choosing, rather than the non-existent
Right.
One,
Right.
or the non-existent no one, the non-existent nothing, that persists in its belief of its existence, even though it's non-existent.
I'm curious, like, what do you, is there something you that feels different after 10 months, or I keep saying 10 months, like just over time, just speaking about this? Is there, I don't know, people talk about like deepening, or I don't know.
There's something is changing. It's always changing.
Always,
But
right?
it doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop changing.
Stop. Yeah.
Uh, in this case, things continue to feel lighter, and yet at the same time, there's always an interest. Somehow there's an interest, whatever you want to call it. Life seems to have certain interests, and some of them have changed, and some of them are still there. Like there's still a big interest in whatever science is coming up with, especially in terms of the universe, like dark matter, dark energy. There's still all this dark,
Sure.
and it's so interesting to see science be scientific about it all, and maybe explain a little this and a little that, but well, one number they use is like 4%. Only 4% of the universe is, as far as they term it, is known.
Sure.
All the rest is a form of darkness. That oh, this is a cool one. Have you heard of vacuum energy? Well, that relates to dark energy, but if science is able to make a vacuum, like there's space everywhere. So if they take a chunk of space here and they suck everything out of it that they're able to, apparently they can't even create a total vacuum anyway, but as close as they can get. And assuming they've gotten everything out of that box, there's still something in there that they can measure. They call it vacuum energy. And what the way they describe it is virtual particles. Virtual particles, meaning they don't really exist, but they do. So virtual particles come into existence. They're like matter and antimatter particles. And so as soon as they come into existence, they annihilate each other. It's so fast that there's no time involved somehow. And so as crazy as all that is, there's a sense that nothing, the nothingness of empty space is still something, still measurable, something that is creative, that is constantly creating somehow, or has the potential to create.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very it's very non-dual.
Yeah.
So this is where Tony has mentioned that science is pointing
right.
more and more toward non-duality and the apparent nature of reality. It's just apparently there.
How crazy.
Yeah. And science knows that goes on, that has been, they've experimented the hell out of it, and they can't explain it any more than that.
Right.
That's what they've found. And that's somehow that is a part of life, or a part of all there is, a part of the universe. Maybe it's somehow it is the universe in a way.
It's insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
I feel like scientists, it's only getting more confusing the more that they're learning, you know? I it's Science seems to have that impression that this will get figured out, but
yeah,
it really seems like the more that they're learning, the more it's like, what is this? It's so
yeah,
unbelievable. It's so, I don't know. It seems like it's not what was expected. This isn't
yeah.
so solid. This isn't so real. It's something mysterious.
Well, have you been playing with AI at all?
A little bit. Not, I mean, I've been hearing a lot about it. That's been blowing my mind a bit.
Did you see Emerson's video on AI?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
watched,
yeah.
so this watched that a little bit today. And actually, I did a video that said we're already AI
Mm-hmm.
without knowing anything about it, really.
Mm,
Uh,
sure.
I did some work with some kids, some sort of middle school kids,
Mm.
and I was sort of, you know, just keeping an eye on them. They were talking about AI among themselves and the experiments that they were making on their phones with AI, and having AI do a certain singer's song,
Yeah.
uh, you know, the way
I've
that it
seen
did that
those.
song.
Yep.
They
Yep.
were they were just fanatical about it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So a friend and I were walking and talking, and he does plays with AI a little bit, and and how did it go? Oh, I I said something about we're already AI, and he said, "Oh, well, then you mean actual intelligence, right? AI stands for artificial intelligence.
Sure.
So if we're already AI, then you must mean we're actual intelligence." And I said, I don't know about that. I don't know
Right.
about that intelligence part, or even the actual part,
Right.
because intelligence now is different. It, like thinking is different. Intelligence is different than it used to be. There's a kind of sense, like we were talking earlier, that this that life has a sense of knowing about itself, even though
Mm.
there's no knower. Uh, there is a sense of, there is a recognition or a sense of, oh well, this should happen now, or that that's that's interesting the way that happened. Uh, there's a sense of the future and the past
Mm-hmm.
somehow, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not it's not so much a thought process.
Mm.
It's just the way things are seen.
Right. Right. It's immediate.
Yeah. And it's also the source of AI.
Right.
If it's everything, it's AI too.
Right. It's it's fascinating for me, the seeming acceleration of technology. Computers were an acceleration. It seems like AI is this acceleration of technology,
Yeah.
information. That's a real, I don't know. I don't know. It's just amazing. It's like, how can it keep going faster and faster? How can there be more and more? There's just something endless about it.
Well, that's the way, that is the way of all there is. That is
Crazy,
the way.
crazy. The way.
Yeah, it is just that way somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
And who knows?
That's
Who knows uh where it goes, or
it's I'm
it just keeps going.
right. I'm just mind blown over and over and over again. Forever. It's just mind blowing.
And at the same time, it's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's okay.
it is. It is. And at the same, it's like that infinite movement and also completely nothing, completely no movement,
Yes.
just whole, just whole. I love that paradox. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. All this growth, all this change, all this movement. And at the same time, it's nothing. It's already whole. It's already perfect.
Yeah. It lacks nothing. And yet it keeps happening. It it's not happening out of lack.
Right.
It's
Out
just
of full.
yeah. Yeah, it's happening out of fullness, out of wholeness.
Yeah. 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 It's celebrating forever. Just infinite celebration.
Yeah. And endless party
Endless party.
for 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 no one
For no one.
or everyone,
Yeah.
for itself. Basically
Ah,
for itself. Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
And the thing is, it's okay with it. It
Yeah.
it's fine. It
Yeah.
um it's all okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What a relief. What a relief. It's all okay and it's always been
Yeah.
okay.
And and it includes sometimes some of the most dramatic things, and sometimes the most subtle or quiet
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
silent.
Yes.
It it includes all of it.
Yeah, just all the different scales of beauty down to the smallest and up to the largest.
Yeah. And and in a sense, it's surprising, and in a sense, it's
Obvious.
just honest. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it doesn't have to understand itself.
Hmm. All right. Should we call it here? This was awesome. This was great.
Well, let's do one last thing.
Sure.
So let's leave on an interesting note.
Sure.
This, I don't know how this will feel. We'll just see how it goes here. This is one of the an example of strange.
Hey. That's amazing.
So this is life
Hmm.
coming right at you.
That's awesome. I don't think I have any backgrounds. Oh wait, maybe I do.
Check it out.
Video. Can you see these?
Yeah.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you for reaching out. This was sweet.
Yeah. Well, it can happen again.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Next time you do the recording, or
Sure.
what should happen is we should both have the recording
Sure.
on our what do you call it, our channel,
Mm-hmm.
since we both did it.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
that's
I'll go
perfect.
ahead and upload this and get it published,
Sure.
and then who knows, we may
Yeah.
do another.
We should. We should. Yeah. I
Okay,
gotta get
Kenny,
back. Okay. Yeah.
catch you
I
later.
gotta. All right. See you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.